In the brutal landscape of Chicago's drill scene, what truly defines a street legend, especially one whose voice was never heard on a track, yet whose name echoed louder than any beat? This is the harrowing tale of James Johnson, better known as T-Roy, a figure whose very existence became synonymous with O-Block's relentless war, influencing titans like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and King Von. His life, a chilling tapestry of loyalty and retribution, forged an almost mythical reputation. Together, he and King Von, who would later adopt V-Roy in T-Roy's honor, were allegedly responsible for an astonishing tally of over 24 lives, their actions igniting an unprecedented wave of vengeance that would forever scar the city. This isn't just a story, it's a deep dive into the strategic savagery, controversial alliances, and the relentless cycle of violence that defined a life, culminating in a shocking downfall that would trigger an almost unbelievable storm of retribution. James Johnson, born on October 30th, 1993, began his journey in Parkway Gardens, a sprawling apartment complex that was once known as Wick City. This was no ordinary neighborhood. It was a harsh crucible that would later transform, in honor of the fallen OG, O.D. Perry, into the infamous O-Block. T-Roy's family was deeply entrenched here, with two brothers, Slut, whose real last name was Blakely, and H.K., whose last name was Murray, both tragically succumbing to street violence years after T-Roy's own death. His mother, Shirley, endured unimaginable grief, losing 3 sons and a cousin to this relentless, unforgiving cycle. The roots of this violence ran deep, with T-Roy's family history intertwined with the very genesis of gang conflict in the area. His uncle, Tokyo G, was reportedly the first body dropped in a conflict between what was then called Dog Pound, Wick City, and Boss City, known today as STL, a chilling prelude to the wars that would consume generations. T-Roy's early life, much like many in his community, unfolded in the shadow of escalating tensions. His school days at Diet Academic Center were not filled with typical adolescent concerns, but rather the burgeoning rivalries that would define his life. 2 years older than the nascent Chief Keef, T-Roy witnessed firsthand Keef's brazen taunts towards rival factions like FZ Lil Mick. Yet T-Roy forged an almost impossible alliance with Aero51 Arrow, a key figure from a directly rival gang. This was a bond so potent, so unheard of in the streets, that T-Roy reportedly guaranteed Arrow's safety even within the heart of O-Block. Such unprecedented trust speaks volumes about T-Roy's unique sway, a testament to his singular, dangerous influence. His physical stature was small, around 5'2" and 130 pounds, but his heart was that of a lion. From a defiant fighter, he transformed into a ruthless enforcer, famously declaring, "I do not fight, I'm too little," an ominous promise that he would instead choose lethal force. This shift was fueled by older O-Block OGs who, facing escalating threats from STL EBT, began arming young shorties like T-Roy, King Von, and Chief Keef, effectively compelling them to let off shots rather than engage in fistfights. This decision would usher in a new, bloodier era for Chicago's streets. The year 2011 marked a turning point, solidifying the formidable partnership between T-Roy and King Von. After King Von's release from jail and the devastating losses of O.D. Perry and Patroon, both T-Roy and Von were reportedly out for blood. Their alleged first joint murder occurred on April 28, 2012, when Marlon Monroe, known as King Doc, an EBT affiliate and aspiring painter, was ambushed from a dark green Chevrolet Impala, struck in the chest, and left to die in a patch of weeds. This act of violence was quickly followed by the alleged August 8, 2012, murder of Daryl Joshua, known as Dirty Rell, an older Jarrow City member. Rumors suggest C. Murda, D. Rose, King Von, and T-Roy were all present. The swift and brutal retaliation for Dirty Rell's death arrived just 20 hours later. O-Block's own Tony Dunn, known as Whitey, was murdered by 50 shots, Jarrow City, and Wapski, STL EBT, caught by police who had already flooded the area. T-Roy's furious response to Whitey's death was immediate and unforgiving. he allegedly shot FBG Young in the leg, leading to a brief incarceration. During this time, King Von, in a desperate tweet, lamented, "My boy T-Roy in the jam now, who the I'm supposed to drill with," highlighting the depth of their bond. The vendetta deepened in October 2012 when Key and FBG Cash allegedly shot at King Von and T-Roy, grazing Von in the leg. T-Roy's chilling response on Twitter, "I'm going to kill this girl," foreshadowed the relentless pursuit that would follow. Just 3 days later, on October 13, 2012, T-Roy and King Von allegedly exacted their brutal revenge. Modell McRae, King Doc's cousin and an STL EBT member, was reportedly shot multiple times in the chest. His innocent cousin, Miles Turner, was tragically shot 5 times in the back by T-Roy and King Von for witnessing the horrific scene, leaving him gravely wounded and later confined to a wheelchair. This devastating incident fueled a grim competition for bodies between T-Roy and King Von. Von himself acknowledged it, tweeting before T-Roy's birthday, "I ain't been hanging out with D-Roy like that because he's winning. I got to catch up first, give me to Friday, LOL." The violence continued, with the alleged October 21, 2012, shooting of Lil Twan, just 14 years old, and Gucci from Jarrow City, resulting in triumphant tweets from O-Block, with Lil Twan later tweeting, "Free King Von leg shooter." The brutality escalated further on October 30, 2012, T-Roy's birthday, when P5 from Jarrow City was allegedly murdered by King Von and other O-Block members. This act was reportedly T-Roy's best birthday present, solidifying both T-Roy and King Von's individual body count at 3 alleged murders each. The cycle of violence showed no sign of abating. On November 8, 2012, Rodney Stewart, known as Boss Trell, an STL member, was tragically murdered. Desperate to escape the streets and start a new life in Iowa, Boss Trell was reportedly lured into a trap by his girlfriend, who was allegedly coerced by O-Block 600. A car filled with O-Block members, including King Von and T-Roy, chased him into an alley. King Von reportedly delivered the fatal headshot, with T-Roy also shooting his body, after which they heartlessly fled the scene. The online taunts from T-Roy, "No TR stay alive, die slow," and King Von further amplified their ruthlessness, revealing a chilling disregard for human life. Days later, on November 19, 2012, James Hullman, known as Lil James or Baby J, an older GD trapper, was allegedly ambushed by T-Roy, King Von, blast his ass, and bite down. Shot in the right forearm and chest, James tragically died. King Von's subsequent arrest for a gun charge, leading to his year-long incarceration, briefly halted the duo's joint reign. Notably, T-Roy, unlike Von, was remarkably discreet online, avoiding incriminating boasts, a strategy that seemingly made him harder for authorities to track. With King Von incarcerated, T-Roy's solo reign intensified in 2013, fueled by Chief Keef's burgeoning fame and his numerous shout-outs to T-Roy in his songs, elevating T-Roy to an infamous shooter. On June 8, 2013, T-Roy allegedly claimed his 6th murder, Frederick Taylor, known as Stunna, a Suwoo TTB OG, ambushed on Interstate 94. Rumors suggest a personal beef with Boss Money, with T-Roy allegedly delivering the fatal shots while Boss Money drove. T-Roy was reportedly arrested for Stunna's murder but released due to lack of evidence. His chilling response in a video, mocking Stunna's death with the phrase, "They will not stunter me, I keep the 33, underscored his callousness. The pressure on T-Roy was immense, with attempts on his life by 051 Young Money's Rockhead and Arrow and Dutchie from STL EBT, who famously tweeted T-Roy to bail out next time after a close call. The brutal murder of O-Block's beloved J Money by Lil B, STL EBT, on September 2, 2013, sparked intense grief and a thirst for revenge. T-Roy and Big A, aiming for Kai from STL EBT, who had mocked J Money's death, tragically missed their target. On September 17, 2013, instead allegedly killing Billy Sargent, a 67-year-old innocent bystander at a bus stop, leaving him with multiple bullet wounds. This horrific misfire further solidified T-Roy's reputation for indiscriminate violence. Adding to the escalating tensions, La Capone, 600's most prominent rapper, was murdered on September 26, 2013, by 051 Young Money, setting the stage for T-Roy and King Von's ultimate act of revenge. T-Roy's release from jail in January 2014, coinciding with King Von's return, unleashed O-Block's top killers back onto the streets, terrifying rivals who reportedly stayed in the house. Their priority was clear: revenge for J Money and La Capone. On March 28, 2014, just days after releasing a scathing diss track, Lil Mark, 051 Young Money's prominent rapper, was brutally assassinated at a bus stop. The alleged attackers included Twill, THF 46, D Rose 600, 5 Star, Folly Boys, T-Roy, and King Von. Lil Mark was reportedly shot in the head, and in a shocking display of disrespect, T-Roy, D Rose, and King Von later returned to the crime. Seen to film and mock the deceased, T-Roy tweeting, "Somebody got TOA on first, who is it?" accompanied by laughing emojis. T-Roy's temporary arrests continued, including an alleged beating by Nino from Brick Squad in jail. His final prolonged incarceration began in April 2015, when he was charged with unlawful use of a weapon and served over a year, being released in July 2016. During this time, younger rivals like TB and Poppy honed their skills, and even FBG, Duck allegedly shot T-Roy in the hand, signaling the street's growing determination to get rid of him for good. On Valentine's Day, February 14, 2017, T-Roy's relentless life in the streets tragically came to an end. He was reportedly hunting his alleged rival, TB, Terry Berry, from Tawan World on East 71st Street, an area TB frequented. The cat and mouse game began with FBG Brick allegedly spotting T-Roy and calling TB. TB, along with 2 Times and Can't Get Right, initially fled when T-Roy spotted them and reportedly upped his gun. However, they regrouped, armed themselves, and returned. Surveillance footage from a grocery store shows T-Roy entering, followed by TB and Can't Get Right. TB allegedly pulled out his gun and shot T-Roy once in the chest. T-Roy was rushed to Northwestern Memorial Hospital in critical condition, but sadly succumbed to his wound. Despite the clear surveillance footage and witness accounts, TB was never charged. King Von, still incarcerated, was devastated by the news. His raw, emotional breakdown on a jail phone call, expressing disbelief and grief, painted a stark picture of their bond. The grim irony, however, was that both TB and DeAndre Wallace, Man Get Right, would later meet their own violent ends, before charges could be brought against them, adding another layer to this tragic saga. Following T-Roy's death, the surviving O-Block members formed the Get Back Gang, unleashing an unprecedented wave of vengeance that made 2017 one of O-Block's deadliest years. The brutal spree began swiftly in May 2017 with the murder of Warren Delton, known as Lil Ho, a Jarrow City OG. This was quickly followed by the May 22, 2017, murder of Jamie Jones, known as JAMO, a mob affiliate, allegedly with Madu and T-Roy's brother, HK, involved. The gruesome June 16, 2017, assassination of Poppy, TB's close ally, occurred at his workplace, with T-Roy's brother, HK, Hakeem Murray, allegedly delivering the fatal headshot that earned him the fearsome moniker Headshot King. The ID violence broadened on June 28, 2017, with the double murder of Janine Dow, known as White Girl, a mob affiliate, and innocent bystander Juliet Washington, allegedly a paid hit by Ma Du and Lil Scud to prevent cooperation with police. The summer reached a peak on July 17, 2017, with the double murder of FBG Brick, FBG Duck's brother, who allegedly helped set up T-Roy, and Kobe Mack, Duck's cousin, both Tawan World affiliates, caught in a pre-planned ambush at a block party, resulting in Mama Duck's heartbreaking public cries. The Get Back culminated on September 26, 2017, when Terry Barry, TB, T-Roy's alleged killer, was executed, reportedly by HK and Madhu, who allegedly emptied an entire magazine into him, seemingly fulfilling the primary goal of the Get Back gang. However, the cycle showed no mercy. HK, Hakeem Murray, T-Roy's vengeful brother, met a shocking end on November 24, 2017, killed in a botched robbery attempt within O-Block itself by a civilian acting in self-defense. A grim twist of irony for the self-proclaimed headshot king. Lastly, DeAndre Wallace, Manman Get Right, TB's accomplice, was brutally murdered, along with an innocent janitor, Troy Hampton, in a shocking public execution. O-Block members allegedly mocked Manman's death on live streams, demonstrating the chilling perpetuation of the cycle. The devastating human toll of the Get Back campaign is undeniable. While T-Roy's alleged killers ultimately met violent ends, the cycle of violence only spiraled further, claiming countless more lives, including prominent figures like FBG Duck and King Von himself. In this brutal street war, there are no victors, only endless loss, profound trauma, and the crushing reality of incarceration. This narrative serves not to glorify or glamorize a life steeped in violence, but as a stark educational documentary, a chilling reminder of the consequences. For every life taken, another is lost to grief or the correctional system. This story is a poignant plea for individuals to choose a path of positive change, to break the generational cycle of violence, and to build a future where such tragedies are not repeated.